placing my hands on my hips and I'm gonna squeeze both glutes. Squeeze them toward the center, which elevates my pelvis a little bit, and then relax it back down. So if you put your hands here, you can feel your pelvis go up as you squeeze your glutes, and then relax it back down. Now I'm gonna squeeze one glute. So I'm gonna start with the right glute squeezes, and what I notice when I squeeze the right glute is it lifts the right hip up and dumps me more weight onto my left side of my pelvis. And I relax that, and then I squeeze the left glute, which rotates my pelvis to the right, and relax that back down. So I'm gonna go back and forth, trying to get a similar activation on my right side as I do on my left side, both in strength and in timing, so that it fires quickly, and I'm not using my left one, I'm supposed to just be using my right, and then also fires to the same amount of degree, tensile strength-wise, and then relax that back down. I'm gonna bend both legs in. My arms are down by my sides. My feet are close enough to my sits bones where I could press them into the ground. And I'm going to lift my pelvis, open my hips in extension by squeezing my glutes and pushing my feet down into the ground. So feet are pushing down, glutes are squeezing. I'm trying not to go up into my lower back. I'm trying to keep my lower back in a long position so that the work is really in my glutes, and back down. And try to get the glutes to help the hamstrings press out, because a lot of times people will hamstring cramp if they are not using their glutes fully, and relax it back down. So notice the glute activation opens the hip, sends my knees a little bit out. So my kneecaps move forward, I lift my glutes and squeeze them to open up the front of my hip and come back down. So now I'm gonna open up my right knee, and I'm going to push with my left foot to roll my pelvis to the right. And I'm gonna try to really pay attention to squeezing this glute so that I'm opening up my hip joint, also in extension. Rolls me to the side. And then come back to the center. I'm opening up my left knee. I'm pressing my right foot into the ground, squeezing my right glute to roll my pelvis to the left. Trying not to let my knee go across, keep my knee where it is, and bring that back to the center. So I'm opening the right, pressing through the left foot, squeezing the left glute, and coming back to the center. I'm opening the left, pressing through the right foot, squeezing the right glute, and back, and I'm just gonna do one more set of that. Open, press, squeeze the glute, allow your rib cage to move if it feels like that's the appropriate thing, and open the left, press the foot, squeeze the glute, and bring it back in. Now I'm gonna come up to sitting and find a piece of furniture, a chair, a bench, a bed, table, and if it's higher, it'll be easier. So I'm just going to allow my hips to fall down, and I'm gonna press through my feet, the same thing I did before. My knees go out a bit and my glutes fire to lift. I'm not lifting my low back, I'm just lifting my hip joints, the same as I just did. I'm bending back down and finding the fold in my hip. A lot of people bend like this with their lower back. I want you to bend and find the hip joint. Press through the feet, lift the hips by squeezing the glutes. Connect your glutes to your feet and bring it back down. And again, press through the feet, squeeze the glutes, and bring it back down. And one more time, feet to glute, don't sink in the shoulders, and relax that back down. And then I'm gonna come back up, and I'm gonna find my single leg. So you can either sit on the side of the chair, or you can just sit turned. And I wanna connect, pushing my right thigh bone backward, extending my hip forward, and squeezing my glute. All of those things at the same time. And then I'm relaxing that back down. So I'm pushing my thigh backwards, squeezing my glutes to open up the front of my hip, and then relaxing it down. As if my leg and my glute are pushing me forward and bringing it back down. And I'm gonna go to the other side and do the same thing. Pushing the left leg back, squeezing the left glute to push and open my left hip, and bring it back. And it pushes backward, opens me up in the front, squeezing the glute. And you can put your hand there because sometimes it's good to feel, am I activating the glute? and open and relax. So now we want to get the glute activation in standing. So standing straight up, you put your hands on your glutes, squeeze them both. So the squeezing glute in this situation shouldn't be tilting the pelvis forward or backward. It should just be lifting you up taller. And you should feel your feet pushing more into the ground. And I relax that. And I press my feet to squeeze my glutes so it lifts me up. And I relax that back down. And one more time, press, squeeze the glutes, and relax that back down. So now I'm gonna stand on one leg, and I want to find my glute support on the one leg. When I squeeze it appropriately, it makes me taller, not shorter. And I relax that, and I go to the left leg, and I squeeze the left glute, and relax that. And then one more time on the right, making sure I'm squeezing the right glute to lift me up and connect me to the floor with my foot. And then on my left side, squeezing the glute to connect me to the floor. It helps your balance. And then come back down.